You know when you look back at your childhood and you can almost feel how warm it was? That's what mine was like, just me, Mum, and Dad. We didn't have much, but we were happy. Every night we'd sit in the living room, telly on, lights low, just comfortable. I remember thinking it would always be like that, until one night, when I was about 6 or 7. Mum turned the TV off out of nowhere. She had this sad look on her face, and she quietly said there was something she needed to tell me. "Sweetie, I'm so sorry. Daddy is actually dead. He died when you were just a baby." I just sat there, not understanding, because he was right next to us. I looked at him, waiting for him to laugh or tell me she was joking, but he didn't. He just looked empty, like he knew this moment was coming. Mum said she couldn't handle losing him, so she started pretending he was still there, talking to him, setting his plate at the table, and one day she said she started to see him again. Then I started to see him too. That night was the last time I ever saw him. When I woke up the next morning, he was gone. Mum never mentioned it again, and even as a kid, I knew I wasn't supposed to either, so I didn't. I just accepted it, quietly mourned a dad who'd somehow been there and then wasn't. Life carried on. Mum had a few rough patches here and there, but she got help. She saw a therapist, took her meds, and over time she learned how to manage it. A few months ago, I got a new job in another city and finally moved out. I was worried about leaving her on her own, but she seemed fine. She called often, sounded steady, talked about her garden, what she'd cooked, little things like that. She was doing well, and I was happy for her. Then one evening she rang me. She sounded cheerful, told me she wasn't lonely anymore. At first, I thought maybe she'd met someone, but then she goes, "Oh love, you should visit soon. It's so lovely having your father home again." It landed like a knife, and I felt this instant dread. She was not doing fine at all. She kept going on about how happy she was, how he'd been watching telly with her, helping in the garden, keeping her company. She sounded so casual about it, like this was just normal. I didn't argue, just told her I'd come visit that weekend, then hung up. That Friday after work, I drove down to see her. She opened the door before I could even knock. She looked genuinely happy to see me and gave me a big hug. Said dinner was almost ready, as she took my hand and pulled me inside. I hadn't been back since I moved out a few months ago. As soon as I walked in, the warmth and the smell of dinner cooking all hit me at once. It made me feel nostalgic. For a second, I'd forgotten why I was there. Then she said, "He's in the living room. Go say hi." I was pulled straight back into reality. I followed her in. And there he was, sitting in his old chair, wearing the same clothes I remembered. He didn't look up, just sat there, breathing faintly. Face slack, eyes dull and grey. Something was off about how he was sitting, shoulders hanging forward like he was being held up by invisible strings. "Mum, what the hell is this?" I asked. She just smiled and said, calm as anything, "He's still quiet sometimes, but I can tell he's happy." I felt this chill run through me. The way she was acting, completely normal, like nothing was wrong about it. Whatever that thing was in the living room, it wasn't right. None of this was. Then I noticed the smell. Nothing strong, but this faint smell of rot. There was salt and candle wax on the floor under the sofa where he was sitting, and a bowl of old ashes in the corner, like some sort of ritual had taken place there. That's when the thing on the sofa started to slowly turn its head towards us. The head was wobbling like it could barely hold itself up. I pulled Mum into the hallway, told her that wasn't Dad, that she'd done something and brought something else here. The smile faded from her face. She looked me dead in the eye and said, "Don't say that. You'll upset him." I kept trying to get through to her, but she kept shaking her head, saying I didn't understand. Then I heard this dragging sound from the living room, like these slow and heavy steps across the floor. I turned, and it was standing in the doorway behind us, body twitching and mouth hanging open. Its eyes were rolling in different directions, like it was trying to look at us but couldn't. I just grabbed Mum's arm and said we had to go. She started crying, saying he just wanted to see me. I didn't care. I pulled her through the front door, shoved her into the car, and drove off. I've had to put Mum into care since that night. The nurses say they hear her talking at night, like someone's in the room with her. A few days after it happened, I went back to the house to grab some things for her. It was empty and quiet. The thing was gone. The only sign of it was this dark stain on the floor where it had been sitting. I didn't stay long, just locked up, got in the car, and drove off.